When you say the word battleground, you're probably thinking about the Rust Belt or states like Georgia and Arizona. But when it comes to Congress, the battleground is right in our backyard. Long Island is posed to have a pivotal role in which party ultimately controls the House of Representatives. Right now, Republicans control the House with 220 voting members compared to the Democrats' 212 voting members. That is tight. On Long Island, 3 of the 4 districts that include parts of Nassau and Suffolk counties are controlled by Republicans. And in the traditionally blue Northeast, Democrats think they can flip some of those seats. Chantee Lans looking into the battle for us on Long Island.
From Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in Uniondale to House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in Hempstead, you can tell how important Long Island's congressional races are by the big names who showed up on the campaign trail.
Here's another one doing a good job. I gave him a big endorsement, Anthony D'Esposito.
Are you ready to send Laura Gillum to the United States Congress?
Democrat and former Hempstead Town Supervisor Laura Gillum is challenging freshman Republican Congressman Anthony D'Esposito in New York's 4th District race. It's a rematch from 2 years ago and what could be the most contentious race on Long Island.
We've knocked like 90,000 doors already, and we've got to keep knocking until November 5th.
Perhaps those grassroots efforts are paying off. A Newsday Siena College poll released just last week shows Gillum with a 12-point lead over the incumbent. She may have also seen a boost from a bombshell New York Times article alleging that D'Esposito put his fiance's daughter and mistress on the same payroll in Garden City, costing taxpayers nearly $30,000.
There's certainly no scandal. There's no story. It's a political hit piece, and there have been 0 ethics violated.
D'Esposito, for his part, helped lead the charge to expel disgraced Long Island Republican Congressman George Santos from office. He was joined in that cause by fellow Republican District 1 Representative Nick LaLota.
I was proud to lead the charge for accountability to ensure he was removed from office so voters got a legitimate opportunity to elect somebody to fit that seat.
LaLota right now is locked in a tight race with former journalist John Avlon.
I just saw this election, especially with the renomination of Donald Trump after January 6th, is one of those times where citizens need to step up, roll up their sleeves, and get in the arena.
While Democrats are hoping Avlon and Gillum are able to flip their districts from red to blue, it will be a much more difficult task in District 2, a Republican stronghold where Representative Andrew Garbarino is seeking a 3rd term in office.
I think what's happened in Albany and New York City under Democratic control, sole Democratic control over the past couple of years, has caused people, not just on Long Island, but the Hudson Valley and upstate New York, and even the city, to start voting for Republicans because they want change.
His challenger is 29-year-old entrepreneur and Democrat Rob Lubin.
It's been red for a long time. How do you feel about this possible challenger potential uphill battle?
I feel good. I feel good, and here's why. Long Island can swing, and it has swung in the past.
That leaves District 3, the only one on the island currently controlled by a Democrat. Tom Suozzi holds the seat after he won a special election following George Santos' expulsion. He's running against Republican Mike LaPetri in a district where the migrant crisis has become a top voting issue.
My number one issue is we have to secure the border, and I am building a bipartisan network to secure the border, working with Democrats and Republicans to build a coalition of business, badges, and the Bible to work together to find a way forward.
During the Abolish ICE movement, I was the one who rode along with ICE, removing illegal aliens who commit heinous crimes like sex predators and murderers. It's important to have that type of advocacy to keep our communities safe.
Chantee Lans, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.